Oh boy, you know what? The more I track and analyze this guy, Degen Dalt, the harder it is for me to avoid the awful thought that he is actually losing on purpose. Um, I just don't get the sense that he is stupid enough to to lose, making the same mistakes over and over again. And I'm sort of hesitating. I'm kind of like um, holding back a little bit here because, you know, ultimately what it comes down to is that it's his money and he has the right to do whatever he wants. But he just refuses to learn from his mistakes. He just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. So, you know, the word insane keeps coming up in his in his thumbnails. I mean, here it is again, right here, and it's the right word for the way that he plays because you know. And let me clarify things here. I fall into the habit that most of us do, and that is that I think of playing blackjack, playing baccarat, playing craps, playing single zero roulette or whatever, and the word should be bet because playing is limited, especially with blackjack, is limited to sensibly following the basic playing strategy, the BPS, and you know. Degen Dalt is as good as anybody at observing that. He doesn't do the daft things that Sirasani will do from time to time, or Jason Bulkey, Mr. Handpay, or any of those. Um, the guys on the King of the Shills team, Vegas Matt's boys, and Vegas Matt himself, are also pretty good with a basic playing strategy. Not because they're geniuses or anything like that. It's just because it's sensible. It's the right thing to do. And with DD here, what I don't get is why he doesn't protect himself when he hits a terrible run, and why he doesn't understand that if you don't pile it on when you're looking at a plus streak, a prolonged plus streak, then you're never going to get out of trouble. I mean, you know, the very beginning here, he had it easy. I mean, look at this; it was easy peasy, and then you know, sort of lots of nasties, and you look at this, which is the flat bet tracker, and you look at this, which is the DD tracker, and as every other time, they're almost identical. You know, I mean, the guy makes no effort to break away from total enslavement to how many wins and how many losses. And if you play a game or if you bet a game, come on, damn it, slap on the wrist. Don't say play, say bet. You know, if you don't have any kind of plan, if you don't have any sort of strategy, if all you do is depend on winning streaks, I will try and get rid of those. You know, if you don't have a plan and if you don't exploit plus runs, then you are dead. And here he is, dead again. You know, I mean, his name shouldn't be Degen Dalt. It should be Deadagain Dalt, because that's what he is. He just doesn't learn from his mistakes. And if we scroll down through here, you'll see. I mean, I would have personally gagged at this point, but it wouldn't have made much difference because the shuffle came here only two bets later. And I don't always remember to mark the shuffles in the log. I mean, I should because it's sensible. And this time I did remember. So the shuffle came after only two rounds. But look what happened here. I mean, he went straight into a wonderful plus run, which he didn't use. And this should have turned him around. This should have got him out of the shitter and into the clover patch. But no, he won't ever do that. And every time he gets these plus runs, you know, he just doesn't do anything with them. And as long as he behaves this way, he's going to lose money. And as long as anybody behaves this way, and the interesting thing is, you know, like if you watch Jason Bulkey, Mr. Handpay, he does the same thing. John Sirasani is a pain in the eyes and a pain in the arse because he doesn't do anything right really. He's a very sort of tight flat better with occasional stupid fail Mary bets that bump him up from 500 to 3,000 for no reason at all. But again, his money, his choice, do what he wants. But I just hate it because these guys are such crap role models. They really are. And there are people out there, maybe one in 1,000, maybe one in 5,000, I don't know, who actually want to beat these games and need to learn how to beat these games. And people like Degen Dalt and Jason Balke and Vegas Matt and all of the others, all of the professional losers, they're not going to teach them anything because their job is to back the house and play the way that the house wants all of us to play, which is stupidly, self-destructively, irresponsibly, recklessly, badly, 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 and that's where D. Dalt is. He plays like an idiot. He has the right. I just, he doesn't seem stupid enough to. Well, I don't know. There's no point in that argument, is there? Because look what he's doing every time, and the only time that he did well on his last Borgata run was when he won 100,000 on a silly side bet. This time his side bets cost him, I don't know, about 2 grand, something like that. His extra bets, his extra hands rather, cost him 700. He doesn't want to learn. He's a house critter, isn't he? I mean, that's what he is. He's a promoter. And he did say at the end of this session, this second Borgata session, that he's going to quit blackjack. And I think next time it looks as if he's going over to Ultimate Texas Hold'em. And I'll tell you this, if you can't beat blackjack, the easiest tilted table game on the casino floor, then you can't beat anything else. And he's going to do just as badly, unless, of course, he hits a plus run. Then he'll be fine. But that applies to everybody. And they don't happen enough to be relied upon. That's the thing. Anyway, let's go and look and see how pattern betting did, and it won't be a surprise to you, I guarantee. It was a sweat. It was tricky. It was it was a nail biter, and the bets were bigger. But you know what? Not that much bigger. Action was 130,000, which was 40% more, 40% more than Degen Dalt's. The win was obviously 181% of his because he was a loser. 6,600, 5.1% of total action. And the bets were enormous. But that's because I'm not able to apply gags, which is what I would do. I mean, I'd have gagged sooner here. I'd be out, let's see, -1, I'd be out here. And then the shuffle came down here somewhere, I think. So it's a tricky situation for me because it's not entirely fair to Algie, to me, because I can't gag when I'm tracking these guys. All I can do is just suck it up and play on and think, "Oh, this guy is a bloody idiot." But nothing I can do. I've just got to follow their outcomes and until the end, and then we get down here and we see. Why does it say 3.3%? It's not right there because it's. I think what I've got here is I've got a higher action readout than I should have. My apologies. I'm going to have to pause here and find out what I did wrong here because, and remember, I do make mistakes, but I usually find them and then I fix them. So. All right, so the mistakes I hate the most are the ones that hurt me, and it didn't affect my or Algie's total win, but it did reduce the percentage. The action figure was wrong. It's actually double, more than double DDs, but the most important thing is the win. And please remember and be kind when you think about the fact that anybody who's followed me for a while knows what the gag rule is, which is if your next bet is going to be more than 1,000 and you're 5 bets behind in the current sequence, then get out of there. And this is the area where the gag would have come. And then the new, let's have a look down here. Come on, jeez, honestly. Yes, me and Excel are falling out, I tell you. So the shuffle was line 6168, and so there you go. So I'd have come out of this at this point up here, and then the shuffle was at this point right here. So I'd have been saved a lot of grief. But there you have it. I mean, I'm just stuck with doing whatever these clowns do, these professional losers. And it's the only way that I can work this. And I don't feel bad about it. I just think it's a bit a bit frustrating sometimes, because I would obviously never play the way that Degen Dalt does, or Jason Balky, or any of the others. I mean, look at one thing here, which is, my average win, 1,444, average loss, a little less than minus 1,100. So, it's a average win over average loss of 134%. DD couldn't manage that. He was at, let's see, average win 604, average loss 628, and this is something that these guys can't, won't, I don't know, but they don't anyway. They don't take into account the fact that if you don't win more when you win than you lose when you lose, then losing more bets than you win is going to bite you in the ass. It really is that simple. So I'm grateful to DD and his buddy Kyle, who does all the work with the videography and the editing and all the rest of it. I mean, I'm very glad to have access to the material that they produce. I'm not sure that they would be glad about me having access to it as well, because hard as I try, there's nothing good that I can say about the way that DD bets. He bets to lose. And he's done it so many times that there can't really be any doubt about it. It is self-destructive, dumb betting. But by golly, he keeps doing it, so he must have some motive or there must be some explanation, which is not that he is an idiot. What he must have is some agenda that I'm not privy to, that I would never understand. And he and I are never going to be on the same page. There's no doubt about that, because this kind of behavior is it's silly, just plain silly. Anyway, see you next time.